Hi guys, welcome to our Facebook Live. This is our first live together, right, Angelica? Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from Sacramento, California.
Woohoo! I'm all the way in the north. I'm down here in Southern California, in Chino Hills, California. So today our topic is going to be on wellness relating to stress, like especially when people go on to weight loss. A lot of time we end up with different types of stress. So our topics for today is how can we alleviate some of the stress, and you have an opportunity to also do a webinar with us after the call. We'll give you a link if you provide us with your email, and we will provide you that link. Okay, so with our presentation, we're going to have two sets of presentation. One set is from me, and then the other one is from Angelica. Okay, all right, here we go. Gonna share. All right, so wellness, right? Everybody wants to achieve wellness and vitality, and that's a life-changing or lifestyle changes for optimal performance. So what are the things that we need to do and know? Because some of the things that we do in the past is what result in the present. So learning from our failures and mistakes and successes will allow us to have that optimal performance, plus the expert um, uh, fitness, whether it's from a trainer or from a nutritionist, doctor, will allow you to customize and personalize um, your own meal plan or your own fitness program that will create a regimen for you that you can practice every day on a routinely basis. Okay, so life change. Now, are you serious? That's always the number one question that I always ask people. They say, I want to lose weight. The first question we ask, are you serious, right, Angelica? When they have
Yes.
like that compelling vision, how serious are you? Are you willing to do what it takes to make it happen, right? That's the number one question. So with that said, we're going to be presenting about wellness in terms of stress that's related to weight loss. But to share with you who I am first, my name is Michaela Sab. I'm a reshaping coach, performance coach also, because I will sort of teach you how to do a scientific way to analyze, to gather, to decide like what you need to do based on your compelling vision and your outcome, to merge that together in a seamless way through using of the NLP. But just to show you who I am, I have many certification. I'm certified in um, human prosection. It was basically an anatomy and physiology. So dissecting and preserving the body. I'm also certified in NLP. I have a master of coaching for that one and life coach. And I'm also a medical assistant. I'm certified in that too. I work with hormone replacement. I do the injection, the numbing, the suturing, all that stuff. But what I love most is about helping women to reshape their body, building that confidence. So this is just who I am, things I've done, with people over the years doing, the Zumba classes and going on retreats, learning how to build myself. But together we can achieve great results because this is where we learn and bounce back different ideas. And that's what I love about our program that myself and Angelica are doing is basically giving you that accountability call, doing that with you to help you. So one thing that is specific for me is that reshaping the body requires different things that we need to do in terms of eating in a specific way, personalized for you and your target goal. So we have to look at these kind of things, personalizing your program. And then the first class that I'm going to be doing is basically on protein because we have to customize. Notice that when we do a weight loss, going back, give me a second. So going back to, with weight loss, a lot of time we end up stressed because we don't feel satisfied. So I'm going to show a different way how to do that, making sure that you're satisfied by customizing with the power of protein, which we will go over some more in our webinar. But with that said, I'm also I have 15 plus years in wellness industry, and that's why I'm so good at that, because I had my own personal result from going from 185 to a size 2. And I kept it down for so many years, and I have done it the second time round with my son. So both of my boys are 17 and 13 now, and I'm still what I am with a small size, that my high school size. So with that said, I want you to have Angelica introduce herself. So you already know that I'm a reshaping coach, and I help women to reshape their confidence and dominate the 3 areas of wellness, which is weight loss, fitness, and supplemental income. I'm gonna stop share so she can share.
Yes, well, thank you, Michaela. Share my screen now. Just give me 1 second so I can pull this up. Okay, can you see that, Michaela, fine?
Yes.
Okay, so who am I? So I'm a self-love coach and a mental health counselor. I've actually worked in the mental health field for many years now, and through my experience, I've helped clients process through their feelings, learn coping skills, increase their self-confidence, work on their stress management and self-care. And communication and applied psychology. So my training is in that. Much like Michaela, I'm also NLP certified
Can you
and a
start
life
that
coach.
over again?
So
Because there was that lag part they missed,
oh,
which is great.
Yeah, so I said that I had a bachelor's degree in communication applied psychology, and like Michaela, I'm also a certified neurolinguistics practitioner, the NLP, and life coach. So that's where a lot of my background comes from. And specifically, what I do is I help women relieve their stress, overcome their limiting beliefs, and create self-care plans for themselves. And this is something I'm very passionate about. It's something I struggled with a lot, my own burnout. And now I help other women overcome those challenges and provide a lot of tips and resources about that I'm going to go in deeper when we have our webinar. But that's just a little bit about me. And then once we go into our webinar, I'll go deeper into what is stress, why is it hard for us to manage stress, and what can we do to overcome those struggles right now.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm gonna continue with the presentation a little bit, and then Angelica will show us how to release some of the stress at the end before we wrap up. All right, so I'm gonna share my presentation again. So going back here, right? So again, our overview is gonna be about wellness, how to optimize that, and how to manage that stress related to weight loss, okay? And again, these are for serious individual who wants change. This is my delta for change, okay? Okay, the first point is that weight loss. So when you think about weight loss, what do you think about, Angelica? Just, you know, since she's here with me.
Yeah, I think about losing weight in my body. I think about becoming more toned, but sometimes I also think of it as being difficult and hard and confusing. Like I don't know how to do it.
What is that image? What are the emotions and image or feelings that you get? You said it's hard. What else?
Yeah,
It
I
was
feel
difficult.
overwhelmed,
Do you have an image
frustrated.
in your mind when you think about weight loss?
Yeah, I think about somebody who's exercising a lot, who has to eat all the right foods. They have to
Oh
have a
man, that's
specific
hard.
diet. Yeah,
Makes me don't want to do it.
yeah.
I think that's the reason why I don't want to run like when I was younger. My ex used to jog a lot, especially when he was training for the DEA, special agent, and I was like, I don't want to ever run. And then like when I went to weight loss, I was like, I don't want to do any of those things. Just thinking about running makes me just tired. So that's why I don't want to do it. And you notice like the image and the emotions and the feeling leads to our attitude, right? Our attitude, like, okay, if it's hard, if it's difficult, you know, seeing these people running, you don't want to exert yourself so much, you know, to stress yourself, right? That's stress itself, correct? Right?
Right.
Yeah. So here I have this thing, which is translates to how you can create and change your life, because based on what we think, our philosophy creates our attitude, creates, you know, our actions and results, and that actually creates our life. So that's the reason why where we are today is based on what we were thinking, because belief is just a series of thinking thought over time that, we practice. And what we practice is going to be what the product outcome will be. So if you want to change your life, you've got to change your philosophy. So part of this, point that I want to share with you, to hone down, is about mindset. And that's what, the NLP will help you to rapidly change those things so we can have a rapid change in behavior for a better outcome. All right. So fitness. People tend to think about fitness working out. For me, from a bio standpoint, because I have a bio degree, um, and it's all about cells, right? Classes is about cells, how it works, lots of chemistry, lots of organic chemistry, all these chemical reactions within our body. But what's the whole point of eating? What's the whole point of dieting and doing all these different things, right? It's basically for this thing called cellular reproduction, right? My definition of fitness is more the ability for an organism to reproduce and create viable offspring. But what are the viable offspring that I'm pertaining to is basically these cells. The viable offspring definition is basically your offspring use these cells to live to maturity and can reproduce itself. So feeding good nutrition at the cellular level, what makes a big difference over time. Because they say that if you eat good nutrition for about 7 years, you can reproduce your cell 100% at a cellular level. But why is that? Because of this. So when you think about this, right, the mitosis is more about the cellular body cells, right? And the meiosis is about like when you're having them, when you're producing an offering, the baby, my son, right? So when we eat all those things in, we're giving it to our kids. So that's the reason why, you have diagnosis. Oh, they ask you the question when you go into the doctor's office, like, does your family, anyone in your family has cholesterol and diabetes and all this stuff? Because we are actually giving that, to our kids. We're sending that to them. And what we practice on a daily basis, they're doing also. And they're going to lead that, to their generation. So it's all these things. So, but if we could put good nutrition into our body, we can produce healthier cells, looking younger, and producing healthier offspring to our kids. So it's not really about gene. Yeah, it affects it, but what we put into our body, what we take control of going in, is what matters. Okay. And again, why we have all these stress is because there's so many diets out there, right? We do have this food guide for healthy eating, but how many of us are really sitting there and looking at it, right? On David, do you do that, Angelica?
No.
Even I don't do that. Seriously, I've been a wellness coach for over 15 plus years, with our company, nutritional health company. But I never really actually sit down and look into the details of like, this is how much I need in servings. And so we don't really do that. But what we see out there and the whole, like, in YouTube and all these Facebook, is all about different diets. So already here they have zone diet, South Beach diet, Mediterranean, and the low fat diet, but more, the fat nowadays is more about what, not just the Atkins diet. Atkins diet was a time when I tried and I didn't like it, they lost the weight, then gained the weight when I introduced it back. But now it's more, was it the Atkins, no, what's it called? The ketosis?
Yeah.
Yeah, about eating like the higher fat. So all these different diets, right? Low carb diet, vegetarian diet. And at one point, remember, now that they're eating these good fat, right? Back then, they thought that was sinful to eat fat. And now they're saying eat more fat, less protein, less carbs, and all these intermittent diet. So we're all already, shying away from different carbohydrates, the sugar, things that we also need in our body, but we don't have the understanding behind it, because now we think like, so what else to eat? What else left to eat, right? Right? We don't know what's healthy anymore, what's right. what diet is for us. So having that, knowing your purpose, why you're doing it, knowing your outcome, that drives you to overcome those challenges, will help you to reduce those stress. And that's what Angelica and I do in the NLP part, where we sit down and gather what is that compelling vision, what is that internal alignment, because part of it is mindset and the belief that we have. If we're thinking already thoughts that hard, too much work, we won't want to do that. So there's a certain belief that's already installed in us, since we were born all the way until now, and the different things we hear that's causing us all these major stress just even to start, like what diet to choose from, right? So the final point is that, all these food, they're nutrients. We got to understand behind that. So that's my specialty that I'm going to be sharing with you in the 6 weeks that Angelica and I are going to do. Is about educating you some of the things that you need to know. So this way you can make a good decision. So gather the information, right? Making that good decision, which one is right for you based on your goals, based on your outcome, right? So it's personalized. Everything's going to be personalized, not compared to, like, how when someone goes into a certain diet, they just copy everything from everybody. But you got to think about being realistic. Your lifestyle, your stress level, like, the things in environment, your belief, and your goal, like what is it? So we can't just copy and paste from one person to the next. It has to be customized. So the understanding about these food will give us different carbohydrates, the proteins. When we're eating in, we're going to get the fats, the minerals, the vitamins, the enzymes, the fiber that we need. So we need to understand this so that we can customize it better for ourselves, uniquely, just for you to create what I call the hourglass body. Now, you don't have to go to the hourglass body or being that super fit, just your ideal, body for your weight and height. Okay? So the whole point is you are what you eat. Now, are you willing? You got to ask yourself, are you willing to do whatever it takes? Because a lot of time we say we want it, but we're not going to be willing to do it, right? So have to be a paradigm shift. There's mindset shift somewhere in between that will make that happen, okay? So the thing to remember is that there's I want to, conclude my part of this to 4 factors that influence your health. One, that we need to understand in our weeks together, that nutrition and the intact gut, which is the GI tract, that's what gastrointestinal mean. AL mean pertaining to, gastro means stomach, and intestine, that's in your small intestines, your big intestine, large intestine. So pertaining to the stomach and intestines, right? And their role is important, and that's what we need to understand. We understand the digestion part, but a lot of time we don't understand the absorption part. So this is where I'm gonna stress a little bit more, because the absorption of good nutrients what matters. Because a lot of time I notice that especially heavier people, they eat a lot, and we can eat so many different things, but is your intestine working well? Are they absorbing the nutrients that we need? Because we can eat all that, have these excess, calorie going in, turn into body fat, but are we absorbing those good nutrients? So there's ways how you can eliminate that, or increase the good nutrition by different supplements. But we're going to go more further. But with that, another part that we don't understand is about the elimination of waste, how it's toxic in our body when we leave all those things in. So good bowel movement is important and vital, to prevent us from having all these different things that can hurt us. Okay. So remember that it serves, these the intestines. It's the first line of defense to prevent toxin, bacteria, and large food molecules from entering our bodies. Okay. So the second thing is about the mental process. So the other factor is the mental process. Is the same thing as what we eat. Is what what we think, right? We are, right? So mindset is, like I said, like this picture that I had before about your philosophy. So it's the mover, the shaker, determiner, that makes us move. So like how Angelica was saying that it's hard in the beginning, if you think about weight loss and people running, what is your emotion? your emotion is like, I don't want to do that, right? You're scared. So these emotion leads you to the different actions, right? So that's important that we'll cover. And then toxins. So our body are, producing these free radicals through the chemical reaction, and it's always ongoing all the time. So when we have all these, these free radical versus what, the antioxidant we provide in and what we have in our body, it sort of neutralize it, or it, all these accumulation leads to inflammation. And that's where you see all these people having the IBS syndrome, right? And all these digestive issues and things that can lead, these inflammation can also lead to the, degenerative diseases like arthritis, Alzheimer's disease. And then there's one thing that I also learned from working with the doctor doing hormone replacement, is that these things can change your DNA mutation that can lead, these inflammation can lead to cancer. And that, you see, that's why I also know that we have cancer in our body, but it's just dormant. So what we do and put in our body and all these chemical reactions can lead into cancer, just turning that on just like this. And that's scary. For me, that's scary. So we need to take our body in a different way, optimize our body, because these toxins can weaken our immune system that leads to different infections and autoimmune disease, like I mentioned. And the other important the fourth factor is hormones. So hormones are these chemical messenger that tells us how, our cells and tissue organs to communicate with each other, right? We have things like the thyroid and adrenal hormone that people, like, especially when you reach that, because we serve a lot of people who are at the menopause stage, right? Retirement. So their adrenal gland, by that time, you overwork your adrenal gland, and we're not able to produce adrenal hormones that can really help us to balance different things. And so what are some of the symptoms that we get from the hormone, the menopause? We have, like, low energy. We have can't sleep at night. What else? Hot flashes. So all these things. So if we can control our health and hormones in a different way, we can minimize all those symptoms, right? This way it won't, critically impair us when we reach at the, at an older stage. So right now my part is done. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna unshare my screen and have Angelica share us. Now that we know that these are the four main things that we need to focus on, that we have all these stress, what are some of the things that we can do to help to alleviate that?
Okay. Thank you so much, Michaela. That was very interesting. And honestly, it was very valuable for me because that was a lot of stuff that I didn't even know myself. So that was very valuable.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up my screen. Where are we? All right, share. There we go. Okay, so as Michaela was saying, and like I said during her presentation, weight loss and just being fit, being healthy, eating good nutrition could produce a lot of stress, right? If it's something that we're not used to, if it's something that we don't know a lot about, or that there's a lot of misinformation about. And so my part with this presentation is to really speak to that stress so that it doesn't hold you back or demotivate you, and you can continue to move forward in your health and wellness goals. So to start, what is stress? Stress is really our body's reaction to a harmful situation. So whether it's real or perceived, it's our body's way of saying danger, like we need to be safe, and different things shift in our body, right? Our cortisol levels go higher, our muscles start to tighten, our breathing starts to quicken because our body thinks that it's in danger. So it goes into that like the flight or fight response. I don't know, Michaela, have you ever experienced this before?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely. So in small doses, stress can actually be helpful, right? Like sometimes it can push us forward, it prevents us from getting harmed. But when it's that chronic stress, that ongoing stress, it can lead to a lot of long-term consequences. And so what I really wanted to emphasize today is having that self-awareness around the warning signs and knowing what stress looks like in your body is important, because a lot of people think, oh, stress is just that anxious feeling you get, when you're like, oh, I gotta do stuff. But sometimes stress looks like procrastination. It looks like you just sitting down and not doing anything. It looks like you're not working out, even though you know you need to work out, or you're not eating healthy, even though you know you want to, because you're starting to feel demotivated. So stress can also look like that inside of you. And
For me, it's
yes,
more like eating, emotional eating. That is the
emotional eating.
stress.
Yes, that's a big one as well. And that's something that I want to dive into briefly today. And so just looking at like, why is it hard to manage your stress? Well, there's three reasons. One, self-awareness. Like I was talking about, what does stress look like in your body? Do you know when you're stressed? If it's not the typical one you see on TV where you're running all over the place, what does stress look like for you? For me, sometimes stress for me actually looks like not eating or being demotivated. So I actually eat less when I'm stressed. And so that's a big sign for me. Your mindset, limiting beliefs around stress and self-care, and not having a self-care plan or strategies that work specifically for you. So I'm going to briefly touch on each one of these. Self-awareness. So like Michaela was saying, she was like, I actually overeat sometimes when I'm stressed. And that is a symptom for some people, right? So some people, it could look like memory problems, you can't concentrate, like that brain fog. For others, it can actually manifest in your body. So you get headaches, you get stomach aches, you might not be able to sleep. It can also manifest as emotional symptoms. So some people get lonely, overwhelmed, yeah, sad, agitated. I personally get really agitated. So when I'm stressed, I'm like, I'm a little agitated. And then behavioral, it could like eating too much, eating less, sleeping a lot, sleeping less, procrastination. Procrastination, I would say, is a huge one that many people don't realize is happening specifically because of stress. It could be like overdoing activities, maybe you're exercising too much, maybe you're over shopping. So all of these type of ways could be ways that stress is happening, and it's not the same for everyone. And so part of what I do and what I help people with, and what me and Michaela would be doing in our program, is really looking at, how does stress occur for you? How do you know when you're starting to lose motivation so that you can continue to have it? And then the other one that I said is why it's hard to manage stress is our limiting beliefs. So our beliefs around stress and self-care is huge in managing it. So a lot of us have these beliefs that typically come from the way we were raised or the people around us, our upbringing. But some of these beliefs that we have are, I can't take a break, I can't rest, I can't take a break, I need to work hard to be successful. There's not enough time in the day to practice self-care, to do my exercise or eat healthy. There's just not enough time in the day. I just can't do it, right? Like, we tell ourselves all of these things, and sometimes we're not even aware of them, right? Because when we have this belief, we believe it. So we're not thinking like, that maybe that's holding me back. No, we're just like working off of these beliefs. And so it's really
what we call auto mode, because now
yes,
that auto mode.
definitely the auto mode. And it's really important to get into your subconscious and really see, like, what are these limiting beliefs around stress and wellness and self-care, and how are they holding me back, right? So if I believe that it's too hard and it takes too much time to exercise and to eat healthy, and instead I need to work really hard, well, then I'm not going to eat healthy, right? But I might not necessarily be aware of that when it's happening, right? Because if I was aware of it, I would be able to stop it. So a lot of our program is also, as Michaela was talking about, looking at your mindset and having that internal alignment. That's huge. And having that self-awareness in order to practice self-care and to reach our health and wellness goals. And then the third one that we touched on was having a self-care plan, right? So there is a lot of stuff out there about managing your stress. I think if you open up YouTube, it's all over the place. And what I found for myself was, it was actually harder because it was like information overload, right? Like, people are telling you all the different things that work for them, but maybe stress looks differently for you. So if stress doesn't look the same for you as someone else, then what they're saying isn't going to help you because that's not how you experience it. And that's what I found. So what I think is huge and important is to have a self-care plan tailored specifically to you based on how you manifest stress and based on your specific mindset and the thoughts that you're having. It has to be personalized. This idea that it's just like, here, just do these stress management techniques. It's not going to work if it's not personalized and tailored to you. And so here I have a visual example, and it's just a little bit of how I break down a self-care plan for someone. And I break it down into 6 different areas, right? So your physical health, are you sleeping enough? How are you eating, exercising? And Michaela and our program is huge for that because she specializes in your physical health. Your psychological health, right? Your mindset. Are you like, how is your mindset? Do you have positive thoughts and ideas? Your emotional state. Are you able to manage your emotions? And social self-care, so your relationships with other people. So all of these things are important. And what I do is I actually go into each area and I help you figure out specific strategies for each area that work for you. And so that's a huge part of our program and the work that I'm doing with Michaela is helping people go through each area of their life and find specific strategies to manage their stress in every single area of their life. And something else I wanted to leave you with is just little things that you can start to do right after we get off this call. So like I said, it's really important to dive into these 3 different things that we talked about. And some of these mood shifts aren't going to work long term if we're not hitting the other 3 things: self-awareness, mindset, and having a self-care plan that works for you. But I wanted to leave you with just little mood shifts that you can use as soon as we get off of this call, so you can start feeling some of those changes now and see how important it is working with a coach to actually dive into the other 3 things we talked about. So here are just 3 quick tips that you can use as soon as we get off this webinar. One of them is journaling. Journaling is huge. Sitting down, writing out all of your feelings and what you're experiencing so that you can start to dive into some of that stress. Practicing gratitude. So listing 10 things you're grateful for now and why. And then different types of mindfulness like deep breathing, meditation. Those are some things that you can start to use right after we get off of this webinar to kind of feel some of those mood shifts that we're talking about. And so that's what I wanted to leave you all with today is really this is the 3 things of why it's hard to manage stress: self-awareness, limiting beliefs, and your self-care plan, and just a little bit of tips of what you can do to start implementing some of those changes now. And that's a lot of the work that Michaela and I will be doing together in our membership program that we have. And then I just have some of my contact information, which I know that Michaela and I will go into deeper, of just different ways that you can connect with me and connect with both of us in acknowledging some of these things.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So going back to, well, thank you for joining us with this quick, introduction of like what we're going to be doing in our program and how valuable, that is like an asset to you, because notice that when we purchase a product from the store or from someone, right? Does that person really, or does that product, right? You buy, especially from the store, does the product really talk to you? I don't know. Has the product ever really talked to you except for the toys that talk to you, I love you, or sing to you, right? But normally when we buy a product, it doesn't tell you exactly, things to expect, right? So knowing from an expert, what are the challenges that they go through, or being in a group allows you to mix and mingle and bounce ideas and what's working for them, based on what they're doing. So it's not just one, for me, it's not just one meal plan, one diet, right? It has to be suited for you. So that's the reason why what Angelica was saying is that sitting down and journaling and doing all those things helps you to track, like, what do you really need for your outcome goals. So part of what I do is taking that WOW method that we learned from WOW Success is basically three areas is we're going to go over the compelling vision, your internal alignment. This is where it's important because a lot of time we may have the right goals and the right outcome, but the things that's holding us back is where we're focusing. So it was in that or the behavior. So we sit in there and do that internal alignment with you where we focus on your emotions, your feelings, your behaviors that you're doing that is holding you back, you know, from achieving or matching that proven strategy that you have set for yourself. And sometimes it could be that strategy that you need, right? The proven strategy that will help you to merge this gap together and make it smaller, right? Merging your compelling vision to your desired outcome. So that's what we do in our program. So you can contact me through Instagram on sorry, there was an error here. It's supposed to be super, let me fix that right now. Super underscore sexy underscore confident. That's on my Instagram page. If you can, you know, private me there. Or I have a business page called Reshaping Confidence at Super Sexy Mom 1. That's correct. It says Super Sexy Mom 1. And I got a lot of different people contacting both men and females, you know, doing that from there. And when they search on it, but I do have a group called Surrender and Dominate. It's a Facebook group. I'm gonna share that with you. Can you see this, Angelica?
Yes, I can see that.
So it's a Surrender and Dominate group. It's a private group, which I teach you more. See, like I did videos on it to educate you on, you know, these are all for free. This one, it's like I go in depth, like more, like the BMI, creating that meal plan. So all these things, the PDF files, you will have access to once you know you join our group. So you'll see all those things. So there's many more things that's in here and that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis with you. So right now, I'm actually working on this because I'm launching my new Facebook ad again for confidence reload, right? So it's going to be confident reloads on these areas of wellness that we just mentioned about. So right now, it's still under the works, but it's a group that you can go into. And I will put in the video, but it's not showing because this is in my ClickFunnels part. But where you can get a chance to have, you know, these free alliance classes with us, and will allow you to start creating that body, the image that you like. Okay. So with that said, this is going to be where you can enter actually your name, your phone number to opt in you know, the email listings for us so that we can send you information about group, what's coming up, what's going on for each week, because we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis to help you to optimize your health and wellness. So that is where you can find me. Angelica, are you still on? I think she just dropped off. Let me see. You see your background and then you just pop in. That's amazing. Like,
oh wow,
like it's like the Star Trek. I wish I could do that.
wow. Well, at least
yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I was just wrapping up and telling them where they can contact me. If you can share with people how they can contact you, or do you have a landing page that they can actually opt into your email listing so that they can receive different notices or programs that's coming up or cool videos?
Absolutely. So here is my landing page. I can also drop a link. So here's my landing page. And then my Instagram is at angelicavillalobos.co. And then my email address is support@angelicavillalobos.com. Sorry, it's like I can't even say my own last name. I was like, Villalobos.
No worries.
And so this will be the main way that you can contact me. I am very active on Instagram, and as well, I have my landing page on Instagram as well. So if you go to my Instagram at angelicavillalobos.co, you'll be able to find out a lot of information about me and then have access to this link. So that would be the best way to get in contact with me.
Awesome. But it's so funny how you mentioned about your last name. You know, how we adapt, the way we say things or do things with people, right? Because it's been like drained to us since younger.
Yes.
So now you mentioned about your last name, how you can't say. So I always follow like what other people say about my last name. So they pronounce it Saab or Sab, like how the Saab car is. So I'm like, okay, when I introduce my name is
Yeah.
Michaela Saab or Michaela Sab, but actually it's actually Saab. So it's like because the way we spell with the
Oh,
in Cambodian, it has like a dash on top of one of the consonants, so it makes it shorter. So it's like Saab. So I never actually say that. I'm always saying Saab. It's like, and they asked me the other day when I went to fix my brake, and it's like, what kind of car do you have? And I was like, I just like lost. It's like I know it's like my last name, but what? I was like, I paused for a moment.
right.
Saab, the Saab car. My last name, same thing. Just so funny. I just want to say
Right.
that.
This
All
funny.
right, guys. So thank you for joining us. So we'll see you in the webinar. We do have a webinar that's coming out that actually takes all whatever we just shared with you in a deeper level where we kind of unravel different things. It's like peeling that onions. You got to know about the cells. So just from the body, it's like working backward, right? From the the body, the circulatory system, the all the different systems, the organs, the tissues that forms, from basically from the cell. So what we're doing here in our coaching program is basically going deep down and to your mental thinking thoughts and things like how I'm doing it physically with the what we're eating to help us optimize and boost that performance level of how your body working, body, mind, kind of spirit all together for optimal health and wellness and vitality. So I just want to thank you and thank you, Angelica, for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Oh, and send us
Right.
a
Bye.
link or email, where you want us, or private message us your email information so we can send you the opt-in, landing pages, or just our emails, where to contact you. So this way we can send you our next webinar for you. Okay. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.